Good morning to all my coffee drinkers and tumbler users. It's our Mike. Hopefully everybody is having a good day. As you can see here, we have a few things that have changed at my coffee bar. First off, I do have a bar mat for catching all of the excess grounds and anything I make a mess of. That is something that will be good for if you are doing a lot of fresh ground coffee. If you're doing pour over, French press, or even just for sitting underneath your Keurig as well, if you were to do that, just to make it so you're not having splatter everywhere from coffee. Another thing you all might see is I have a different scale. I'm going to pan down here so we can check this one out. So the scale I have switched to can handle more grams, a much higher gram weight. So this is a much bigger scale now. And obviously here we can tell we have our tare for resetting, what kind of unit measurement we're going to do, and then our on and off button. So this one is not an automatic. So my last scale could only handle 100 grams max. This scale can go up into the pounds easily, so we should not have an issue there. But yeah, using that should help with measuring our coffee quite well, and that way we know where we're at. And when it comes to measuring the coffee and how much you're putting through your grinder, my Bodum here has been a great grinder. I've not had really any issues with it. It has gotten hot depending on how much I push through it and I make it intake. I'll take them to my school because my teachers at my school have gotten to love Black Rifle coffee and they enjoy the experience. So to improve the experience, this Bodum will be relocated to my school so I can make my staff some good tasting coffee. The only issues I've had with this has been, it has gotten hot at times, depending on how much you're pushing through. And since I use 80 grams, and I'm not the only person that uses 80 grams of coffee, I actually found out one of my neighbors next door to me, him and his wife both use 80 grams of coffee for their 2 cups in the morning as well. So I'm not the only person that enjoys a real strong coffee. If you have a certain gram weight that you use, leave it in the comments below. But yeah, when pushing 80 grams of coffee through the hopper, down through the machine, you're only supposed to have it on the 22nd and have it run 3 times total. But depending on the coffee on your beans, if they are super coarse, if they're a super light roast bean, or if they're a dark roast bean, they can be harder or easier to grind up and to have the burr crunch down and pulverize properly. So obviously end up going longer than what you should to get everything through and into your container for ready for transfer. But yes, today one other thing we are going to upgrade to, I have in a new Amazon box, and obviously this box is pretty big, so I'm not going to bother backing up to show. We will just go ahead and cut in two very carefully. This box is almost expanding, as you can see, because the item inside is big, or they just put some air bubble in it. We want to make sure we're not going to cause any damage. So we're going to use a safety box cutting knife that only extends so far, just in case. And yes, we do have bubble wrap. And inside here is an Encore Baratza grinder. Now, and I will include the link or the post as well, but there are about 10 really good grinders out there that are Burr grinders. And obviously this Encore is quite huge. Hold on, back up here. Yeah, with this Encore, this Barista model, this one can handle quite a bit more if I plan to make more than 8 cups of coffee. And then this one has a physical on and off switch. It's not a timer delay. Once it's on, it's just going. And we have our multi settings. And here we have on top Encore model number, so that way if you guys want to check it out, you can find these online. These puppies are in the $100 range, not gonna lie. It is not like $60-70 like the Bodum. You're obviously bumping up to a bigger unit, and we have way more grind settings, as you can see. I believe the one I got is the black. It should be the black model, but let's go on ahead and crack into it and see. see here. And our hopper on top should be bigger as well. Yeah, this puppy is a tall box, so I'll do my best to keep it in view for y'all. It's our manual. Oh yeah, this might take me a minute. Hold on. All right, so I pulled the unit out of one box right here, and we still have another box. So they definitely want to make sure it gets shipped to you, not damaged, no issues with it, no physical issues. So, and holy cow! All right, we're into the top. Let's see how this comes out. All right, so I think we have our, yep, there's our hopper. So our hopper is almost same size as that one. A clear top lid that is a hard plastic, which is nice, because the lid to the bottom does come off quite easily, which is nice, but if you want a good seal and you want to leave some beans in there, then that one I have had some struggles with. And then down below, I'll pull out that. We have our Encore unit itself. Oh, yeah. You guys look down in there, you can see they definitely had it well protected. And here is our unit, a much thicker gauge cable here, so this is definitely pulling more power compared to the bottom. Gauge wise, looking to see an 18 gauge cable. Alright, that's just to keep our blades clean, keep us from getting any buildup. Our off and on. That is the only thing we're missing. Where's our off and on switch? See if they came inside. Yeah, inside our reservoir here. Oh, we got some cleaning tools too. Heck yeah. Alright, let's move this back. Let's get a better look here. So, as it shows, barista model. And then inside our catch reservoir, we have a cleaning tool, which I had just dropped. So our wire brush cleaning tool for getting all the gunk, keeping it clean. A neck, and our off and on that goes to our off and on section here. So let's line that up first. Get that in place. There we go. So that is on. We're in the off position. That's nice. Yeah, you can go almost any direction. So it's good. So it's kind of like a four-way switch. There's our top. So obviously when it comes to our settings, we have up to 40 different grind settings, going all the way from 0 to 40. So this one will definitely need some playing with when it comes to that. I believe down here on the bottom, this is a sensor for when the reservoir is in, it will probably stop. And that's what's in place. And then our neck piece, we will double check instructions and we'll give this a shot. All right, so forgive me, I know this is going to be a long video going over a grinder, a Burr grinder especially, but this is, now that I have our Encore Baratza, and excuse me for pronouncing it wrong at the beginning, but it is the Baratza model. I have cleaned our hopper, it is ready to use now, cleaned our catch reservoir, cleaned our black rubber grommet, which I do like, and I'll show you why. And I have also cleaned, what else, our hopper lid, and assembled what needed to be assembled. Now, one of the reasons why I picked up this model for the price it is because a lot of these components, including our burr, I don't think our center burr, but maybe our outer burr, maybe the center burr, you can remove these components and replace things. So if anything does go out, this is a repairable, replaceable components for this machine. So it's not like the Bodum, which again, not to knock on Bodum because this one has done well. It still works perfectly fine. I don't have really any issues with it. But like I said, I'm gonna take that one to work. But with the Baratza, I can actually take any components that have broke or anything out of it and put in new and continue to use this unit. The other thing I do like about this is a weighted bottom. So this one is not to be tipped over. It's not made too flimsy. It can handle weight. It can handle being moved or shuffled around. But with the weighted bottom, it definitely stays planted. So that is cool. And yeah, we have up to 40 different grind settings. And the way the grind settings go on this unit, from what it shows here on our manual, your grind settings are the lower numbers are finer grinds, coarser numbers are the coarser grind is the higher numbers. So for us, for a Chemex, we're gonna do around a 20. We'll probably bump it to like a 22 because I do want it, or actually would probably take it down to like a 19 because I do want it a little finer. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and fire this puppy up, put it together. With this black grommet that is before you install your hopper, this helps you keep from getting a mess inside, which I like because I don't have that on my Bodum here. We will pop our Bodum off. And on our Bodum's hopper, one thing that I have noticed is different too, we do have a nice pattern for helping shuffle down any actual proper beans. Anything that is not a bean that would be weighted, maybe a rock or something that got into the beans during the processing, would sit here in the top. That's one thing we do not have in the Baratza model, as you can see here. So nod there to Bodum and how they take care of their stuff. Again, with Bodum, the other difference was that we did have our measurements here along with the times and how long things need to go for. But like I said, I could pull out this top section of my burr for this one and clean all this. But when it comes to just all your grinds and stuff, you get built up on the insides. You don't have a nice grommet like you do here on the Baratza. So we will go ahead and give that a shot, and we'll see how this does. But yeah, I'm gonna go on ahead and finish getting this put together. For our lineups, there are a couple lineups for your exterior burr piece. You want to line up your reds, as you can see here, red and red. This grommet goes down and over. And then for our hopper, we're going to take our silver side, face that out to our 40. And you'll actually hear a click. That's for each one of our settings. So we're going to take this down to probably a 19. So there's our 20. Take that down to about the 19 area, 19, 18 area. And that's where we're going to set that for this morning. And we'll go ahead and weigh out our grounds and run a batch through it. And let's take a look and see how it looks. All right, so we are going to use our AK Espresso. We are at our about 81 grams. The scale's having a hard time trying to figure that, if it's exact. Obviously, we don't have a point system on this as well, so you don't get 80.5, 80.3, 80.12, none of that. So this just goes by solid grams. And then our Baratza is set up, ready to go. We are ready to run. So our front button here in the front is if we need to pulsate, and then once we just turn it on, it should be in on position and running. But I'm gonna go and get some water going and get the stuff ground up, and we will see how it looks. All right, so our Encore is done grinding, and that is what 80 milligrams or 80 grams of grinds looks like. There we go. No, not all tongue twisted. I do have my Bodum pour over here still ready to go. This is my 8-cup filter, has been soaked. Now I am going to switch to using the Chemex filter, so I will not need the plastic reservoir to hold it in place. This neck is a little on the big side. We will see if that works or not when those come in. But just to take a look at how our grinds look here. This is our first look at how these grinds have turned out. Grounds. Okay, this is at a 18, I say an 18 setting. We'll put that aside for a wash. But overall, I would say, let's see if we can do zoom. I'd say I'm quite happy with that. Everything's consistent, it looks good. Looks ready for pour over, so let's look and see how it blooms compared to what I've done in the last video. Alright, so let's go on ahead and pour some of our nice, probably a little over 200 degree hot water over our grounds. We are doing a slow pour so that way we do not create any airway channels. Get down here to the middle. Try to get this to bloom for about 40 seconds here, just a 40-second pour. As you can see, I have some pockets of air. Try to drown those out. So that should be a good 40 seconds there, hopefully. We'll just let that bloom. We'll let it soak. Let it dip down on its own, and then we will continue with our pour. Alright, we are ready for our next pour, as you can see. Now while I pour, I will chat with y'all. A few things I've noticed right off the bat with the Encore versus the Bodum when it comes to the grinders, the Burr grinders. The Encore is definitely quieter. I will probably say about 10 decibels quieter. It is not as loud, does not sound as clanky when it is burring your coffee, when it is pulverizing everything. The on switch, just literally turning it on and just letting it go is all you need to do. If you want to pulsate your grounds, you just push that button that I showed you, and it works well for that. But yeah, definitely, to me, it is worth the upgrade. If you want something that you just turn on and walk away from, let it grind until everything's gone, and then shut her down. Does not seem to be like a fill sensor to it, to when the Encore reaches its max, full level wise. That would probably be a more expensive unit for sure. But no, it grinds well, as you can all see by the grounds here, how everything has turned out and looked. If you're looking for an upgraded grinder, it might be the Burr unit to go after. If you guys find something else out there you like that is disassemblable, that you can get replacement components and parts for, leave it down below. Let's see what other grinders are out there that people are enjoying. This is our Mike. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll chat with you all in the next one.